Well, hello again everyone, welcome back. I've had a delivery which should help us crack on with this motorhome shower room. And this is it. This is a 45mm tank cutter. And this should help us cut the hole in the bottom of the dog bowl for the waste. So first thing to do is to find the centre of the dog bowl and drill a hole big enough to take this bowl, which is quite meaty in itself. So you don't need to be super accurate about this and get all geometric about it. So I'm just going to strike a few lines across the centre of the bowl, just using a pencil, mainly because I can't find my scriber anywhere. Seem to have lost it. So that gives us a pretty good approximation of where the centre is. I'm going to go there-ish. So I'm going to give it a bit of a donk. I use a block of wood, of course, to avoid damaging the bowl. Give it a bit of a donk with the old centre punch in what I've approximated is the middle-ish. Right, so now we'll just drill a pilot hole through there with the pillar drill. We'll probably use the drill that's in it. So this says on it, it's a 12mm bolt. So I guess we need to try and get a 12mm drill through there somehow. I think we'll have to go up in steps. We'll go from the other side now, because I don't think we'll get a 12mm bit through there in one go. But we'll try, what's that? Let's try a 9mm first. We'll need to flatten that down, I think, a little bit first before we try that. That's not too bad. Let's step her up again. We're going to go 10.5. Right, let's go for the 12 then. Now, no way is that going through there. Let's step it up to, well, let's go for 13, I suppose. The largest. Well, we've got a 14mm drill actually, haven't we? Because we bought that for the bonnet project. Of course, the big question is, what did I do with that 14mm drill? And I've looked in all the places it should be and it's not there. But no matter, because this will actually thread through. So I think we are okay. We can go ahead and cut this out. So this works in the usual way. You just put the two halves either side of the thing you want to cut and go ahead and do them up. So let's do that then. We've come up against the first hurdle. My largest hex key is not big enough to go in there. It's a problem with this big stuff, isn't it? You need big tools for big stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, I knew I'd have something. I've got this set of, I think they're sump plug removal tools, I believe. And this one has got the right size hexagon head on it. That says it's a 12H. And unfortunately, the other end of it will take a 10mm ring spanner. So we should be able to now go ahead and use this cutter. That could be quite through because it should just pull through, shouldn't it? Tougher than expected, this dog bolt. There we go, that's through. Brilliant. So there we go. Perfect hole for the waste. It's a little bit off centre, isn't it? But that doesn't really matter. Right, so, well, I've got my waste that goes and fits in there quite neatly. But obviously in basins, this bit is recessed a little bit. Now, I guess if we had the tooling, we could make up some sort of big punch to punch a sort of dish shape in there. But I think that might be a bit beyond us with the facilities we've got. So what I'm going to do is just go around and just gently and progressively bend that with a pair of pliers just to get a little bit of a downturn on it. And then we can seat this in with some plumber's mate. Well, there we go. I don't think that's too bad. That's dished out reasonably nicely. We're firmly in bodge up territory now, but never mind. So I'll get some plumber's mate and we'll put around there to make a bit of a seal and fix that in position. So if you don't know, this stuff is just like a putty stuff that you can put underneath the waste to help seal it up. This has been in the garage for quite some time, so it's not that fresh, but still nice and squidgy. It'll be easier to put it around there. Did have a few questions about this after the last video. A few people were concerned that we might not be putting a hole in the basin. And one person asked me whether we were perhaps just going to pull it out and empty it after use, which I guess you could do, couldn't you? You could just sort of sling it out of the back of the van. But it's not quite the proper job, is it? So I'll just clean this up with some rag, I think. So there we go. Waste is installed in the sink. So there we go. That looks okay-ish, doesn't it? Now I've also got this thermostatic mixer valve, and I ordered this from a website which claimed it was a caravan mixer valve, but that to me, that's a pretty hefty solid piece of brass. That weighs a fair old bit. I don't think you'd fit that normally in a caravan. I think you normally have in a caravan motorhome like an ordinary mixer valve, not a thermostatic valve, but I do particularly want a thermostatic valve in here because we take our granddaughter away, and it'd be nice not to have to worry about her adjusting it and scolding herself, because the carver heater can be a little bit up and down. Sometimes the water is hotter than other times, and it does come through quite hot, and to be fair, you have to have it quite hot, do the washing up and stuff. So I particularly wanted a thermostatic mixer valve. Now it's come with these adapters, and I think really maybe it's for fitting in static caravans, I don't know, but these are like a through the wall thing. So as you'd normally have it on your bathroom wall, these would go into the wall and you wouldn't see the pipe work because it would be chased into the wall. And I wondered what these were, and having had a look at it, these, I think, or this valve, I think, is designed for the American market, because it seems like these nuts here, they're not BSP nuts to go onto 15mm copper fittings. They appear to be an NPT thread. Now, you might well know, but NPT is like the American equivalent of BSP. So 1/2 inch BSP won't go on to 1/2 inch NPT. And there's two types of NPT thread. There's a taper thread and a straight thread. And the reason I know it's NPT is because I've got these brass fittings here, which I got for a job a few years back now, where I wanted to connect up a chiller to a freeze dryer at work, and the freeze dryer was American and had these NPT fittings, and someone had previously sort of mullered a BSP fitting onto it with loads of PTFE tape, and it was all a horrendous mess. But I managed to obtain these, and I've got a few left over because I had to buy a pack of 10. And I think what I'm going to do is use the flexible hose onto these. There's a rubber sort of washer filter thing you have to put between them. Now this is a 3/4 inch barb, and the existing supply pipes are 1/2 inch. But we do of course have another problem, which I'll take you into the washroom and show you. So I was thinking this would come with some sort of bracket to hold it to the wall, but of course it doesn't, and there's no holes in it to fix anything to. So I can't really put it in a logical place, sort of on the wall somewhere there with the shower head above, because it would just have to hang on the pipes, and obviously this wall is fairly delicate. So I've been considering various different things. I was talking to Nikki about it. She said she would tolerate it mounted lower down, where the pipes could go through the back of the seat and there's a bit more meat to fix things to. But I just don't like the idea of it being mounted so low down. I did think about perhaps mounting it on the face of the sink unit here-ish somewhere, but then of course you've got the problem that's where the hose goes on, so it would sort of not work. And if I fix it the other way, then the hose is going to come shooting out into the middle of the room. So what I've come up with is, I think I'm going to mount it like that. Now, I've had a few comments about this basin unit suggesting it perhaps needs a pedestal because someone might lean on it, but it's really solid. I may well try and support it a bit more, but I'm not actually that worried about it. But I think we've just about got room to put a couple of holes in to fix this here. So that's my plan really, is to drill a couple of holes through there. I have those hose barbs underneath, and then I can tee in to the pipe work that supplies up to the sink, and then we'll have the shower head on the wall facing the toilet here, which means we'll probably put the mirror on this wall. Alright, we'll see how it goes. We could put the mirror on that wall, I suppose. Doesn't really matter, does it? Now, it's really tricky to measure this up. I think what I'm going to have to use is some sort of template, but I'm going to make it off the first hole, if that makes sense. And I've positioned the first hole, so I think I need to drill through there-ish. And this cutter, I think, should give a pretty snug fit to that thing, but I've got to get the drill pretty close to the wall, so that might be an issue as well. Oh dear, I've given myself a few problems here by not planning it completely in detail before I pressed on with it, but this is really developing as we go. This is what they call design and build, I think, where you design it as you go along and give yourself all sorts of problems. Anyway, I'm going to have a bit of a bash at drilling that hole. I think probably the battery drill is going to be my best bet. Yeah, so that's going to need enlarging with a file or something. I think I'll also have to undo that screw underneath to get it in. Interesting. Yeah, it's all a bit tight, but fortunately all I have to be able to do is to get it up in one direction, and I can tighten the nuts of the tap thing onto it, so I'm not too worried about it being so close to the back there, although I suspect I may end up countersinking that screw in to give me a little bit extra room to play with. Anyway, it's getting late now, so that's quite enough for tonight. I'm going to pack away and carry on with this perhaps tomorrow. Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed it, press like, subscribe if you want to see some more, and ring the bell to be notified when we upload something new.